Hello, welcome back to Belonging Songs, your weekly podcast where we bring you a new song each week and then talk about the themes of that song and what went into the recording process. I am your host, Wade Dana. With me, as always, my good friends, Brad Maurer.
Hello.
And Patrick Crane.
Hey, everybody.
How you guys doing?
Real good, man.
Yeah,
Cool.
doing great.
Good to see you again.
You was swell.
Yeah. So we got a brand new song for you this week. This one's by me. It's called And So On. And let's give it a listen. In some other place, you're living out your dreams with hopes of showing me what you've achieved. And slowly I'll get old and fade away, but you will carry on in my place. And so on, and so on, and on and on and on, and on and on and on, and so on, and so on, and on and on and on, and on and on and on. I imagine you out in the sun, holding hands with someone that you call your own, and you're so in love as you become when the hearts are young, regardless of the time. But you weren't given time. No, you're just a dream, and you're gone. Yeah, you're As a kid, I sometimes see that wasn't born. Didn't learn to ride a bike or how to heal a broken heart. A child that had no gain of memories, forever spared from pain and wonder, and having not known what was missed. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, I know this isn't what you planned, but you left it up to me, and that is that. I didn't mean to let you down, I never meant to let you down. Just didn't feel I could have bought a kid a chance. Plus this world seems like no great inheritance. We could be out in the yard, playing catch until dark. There's falls on me, and I'm fast asleep, dreaming of you, and the things that we do when I all the place you're living out your dreams, with hopes of showing me what you've achieved. And slowly I'll get old and fade away. And there'll be no one there to see me on my way. No clinging sadness, no need to celebrate. In the end, we'll all become the same. Those of us that lived, and those that never did.
Okay, guys.
I don't know what to say.
It's another feel-good Wade Dana track.
Let me
Before
go ahead.
we get into it, go ahead. Actually, I want to get your reaction before I say anything.
I started out half of that, not half, like first kind of 3 verses column. Not sure if I liked the song, but then you fucking hit me. And I did nothing but feel it the rest of the way.
Okay, this is a song I think we can all relate to, as far as the choices we've made in our lives. None of us.
I've made some pretty good ones.
But the one choice.
The one choice. We've all decided not to have children.
Right.
And that's what this song is about. So, yeah, go ahead. Continue.
It's everything that I think you feel when you make that decision, because you're like, you say it beautifully in the lyrics. Like, I just don't feel I could have bought a kid a chance. Plus, this world is no great inheritance. Right. Those are the things you feel. You're like, you know what? I just don't think it's right. Like it's something that I just don't want to do just to do. It's kind of the biggest decision you could ever make.
Right.
And a lot of people do it just because it's biological.
This is another one of those songs that's hard for me to put out there and listen to with people. Like, my heart's beating pretty fast. But
go read about any stats on the fate of they say millennials don't have a lot of kids.
Right.
It's obviously going to be a really relatable topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But aside from that, just the way it's presented is awesome. Like I said, the beginning of it, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this song that much. And then I think my chin got wiggly for a little bit of it. I'm not crying, you're crying. Fuck you. What do you think, Patrick?
I totally agree, though. It's pretty funny because I don't think the first 3 verses fit. And I didn't like the song when it started. Truly. I didn't relate to it initially.
So I did want to throw the listener off with those first verses, because you're not sure what it's about at that point.
Right.
No.
And I think it does that. I'm not sure it works yet, quite honestly. And I love the rest of the song. In fact, I wrote hopefully some complimentary things. I used the word Bowie-esque in a few of the changes, which I thought were brilliant.
How dare you?
Yeah.
I think the not in an insulting way, but I think it sounded like a really cool musical.
Yeah.
No. It took you on this story, and I had pictures in my head of everything you were describing, and I could definitely see it on a stage.
Yeah. I'm with Brad. I don't know quite what to say, but from here down, after that 3rd verse,
What are you pointing to?
it's great. I'm just pointing at my notes. Okay. This change here, right after that you call your own and you're so in love, is awkward. But then it starts into what I feel like is a brand new song that I love. So that needs to be parsed out a little bit, I think. At least in my opinion. The rest of it, I wouldn't touch. I really wouldn't.
I think maybe the front end might just need to be consolidated a little bit, because right now you have a really long throw off. That's probably could be its own song, and I think I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to have the end before you get, like this is your kid out there, right, doing what they're doing,
Right.
growing old,
Or
and
also,
then
like-
later on you're figuring out, okay.
Also, like, this first part is like our parents,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't get that vibe from it.
It's hard to critique your friends. Did you know that? The song is so lyrically beautiful, and that's the real word for it. That the and so on and so on and on and on. I know what you're saying there, but it almost feels lazy compared to the rest of the song.
Okay.
Like that's my brutal honest. It pains me to look in your eye and say that, because the rest of it is so well constructed and lovingly assembled. And I agree with Brad. I think I understand what you're trying to do there, but it just doesn't feel like the rest of the song, which is almost perfect out of the gate.
Yeah, and to get away from critique, okay,
Yeah.
we know that part. The end, like this part where you have this verse going into the solo, where that guitar carries on, and then you stop and you have this just like, I don't know if you cranked the mic up and sang it softly or what you did there, but like the end is the best ending.
You know what I think is happening, if we want to get technical a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as I do these songs, and I haven't done any singing in a while, and I'm kind of recording front to back, I think I get warmed up about halfway through.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And what I think I need to do is record the whole song, then go back and record like the first half again while
Maybe.
I'm warmed up.
Yeah, maybe. To echo what Brad said, I just wrote yup at the ending.
Yeah, like
just yup.
Just a quiet, like you break it right down and you're like, you're in a hospital bed or something, like you're reflecting that, and you can feel what you're saying because of the way you wrote the song and the way it was performed.
And if you want to talk about, the three of us always talk about when you get that chill up your back.
That's
that
what it was.
happened like 5 times in
Yeah.
this song.
Oh,
No joke.
I
like
agree.
my back is still tingling.
Yeah.
Especially the way you finish the song. God damn it, Wade. You've got some clever songwriting sometimes. I'm kind of all over the place this episode. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But from a technical aspect too, the tone on your guitar.
I could tell by both of your reactions that I think I like achieved something.
No, you got there. Like I said, I think it's very funny to me that I made 0 notes. I didn't write anything.
I noticed
down.
that, yeah.
So Patrick couldn't see what I was writing down or where, but we came up with the same thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure for the beginning. I was like, I'm gonna have to tell this kid I don't
Yeah,
like
I was
his
thinking
song.
the same thing.
Okay.
But then toward the end, I was like, this is, again, like I'm gonna tell you every time, like this is probably one of the best written songs you've ever written.
So I've got
Like,
a
it's
question
really
for
good.
you.
Or wrote, however you want to.
Yeah. Hashtag
Or
rope.
2 questions for you. First of all, knowing, so you listened through, you ended up liking the song. Do you still not like the beginning?
I got to listen to it again.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Can we listen to the beginning again?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I'd like you to take note, if you don't like the beginning, where it does
Lose you?
take off. No, where it gets you.
ramps
Oh,
back
I've
up,
already
yeah.
got that note,
Yeah.
but I'm curious to hear it a second time.
Yeah, 'cause and what I was saying to myself is not I don't like this song in the beginning. It was I'm probably gonna have to listen to this one a couple
Because
times.
I'm interested in that because like the beginning is the same as like the middle, like it's
Right.
the same music and same parts.
So we need to figure
But,
out how
like,
that doesn't connect
the
for us.
perspective is flipped.
Right.
So I'm wondering if it's like now that you have the full picture, if it works better for you.
Let's
It
give it a
might.
go.
Yeah,
let's give it a
it a
second
Listen
go.
again.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a long song too.
Yeah, what do you like 15, 14 minutes?
Yeah. And there's this, did a solo
Special
again.
guest Trey.
lengthy.
I wrote another Wade solo. Wowzers.
Lengthy solo
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like
Wowzers.
he put his leg up.
Yeah.
That kind of
yeah. It was on top of an amp.
All right, we'll give it a listen here. Those that never did. All right, who wants to go first?
I don't know how much help I'm gonna be.
My opinion didn't change.
Okay.
I don't like the first part.
Well, what I did, I wrote. I mean, I think that song would be equally dynamic, and would still achieve its goal if it just started right after the first "And You're Gone, Yeah, You're Gone," and then you go right back into the intro. Like if you were just to start it there, I think it's an awesome song. The front end it's a little confusing for me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I know what you're saying. Like I know you go to the "Yeah, You're Gone," that these like two parts are reflections of each other, and you're bringing something back. Mm-hmm. But it hits home with the second one a lot more than it does the first one. The first one, I put a bracket around it just because I'm lost. Like
From where?
It's
from like because you change you
yeah,
for the
the
two
flip-
lines when their hearts are young, regardless of the time, you change the way that is done from the stuff previous, and that's two lines, and then you go into something completely different for
Yeah.
what you weren't given time. That makes it feel almost too musical-y,
Okay.
you know, like a little bit too much high kicks.
And that's where the
dancing.
flip is in perspective of the song.
Right,
Right.
it is, and I know.
So you think that the song just doesn't need the two perspectives?
I think it is, or this front end just needs to maybe get consolidated into one verse of perspective. You know, like if you had there's a kid, if you did a verse equal to that right in front of that, I don't know that you necessarily have to feel when the perspective's changing. You could figure it out.
What I like and is not working is like you mentioned the "and so on" and the "I will carry on in my place." That is like being the legacy that most
Yeah.
people leave.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then I leave that out. And there's that big empty spot here.
Yep. Maybe move, right? But
Yeah.
Yeah, what part of that beginning from a storytelling or emotional point do you not want to see go? Tell me that.
I don't know. That's hard to like answer on the fly because I've been working on this for a really long
yeah,
time.
it.
yeah.
And
What's your
But
gut
it is
tell
something
you?
to think about.
I
mean,
like I like this. I imagine you out in this. This whole part. I picture, and maybe this is where I'm missing the mark. Maybe I need to flesh out the lyrics more of like our parents envisioning us doing these things until it flips, and maybe I need to be more clear on that, or just cut that all out.
But I think you got to be. I like it long, but it just might. You don't want to be long for the sake of being long. I think it sometimes it's just like the end is too good for the beginning.
Okay.
that's a good way to put it.
You know, and so like if it's got to go away, it's got to go away. But I agree with what you're saying. Like for it to come in, there's a kid I sometimes see that wasn't born. If it comes in like
And that's
that,
like the
it
bridge
might-
right now.
Yeah, it might be too direct.
Right.
But I
That's yeah.
you know, but when I was listening to it, I was like, well, the way that is softer, and then you get into "I'm sorry, Mom and Dad," you're off and running.
Do you like the way the song like just starts? Like the instrumentation comes in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like if it were to
that's-
start there and then drop down to that
well, that you
bridge
do
part?
it. You do it because you go back
Yeah,
to the intro,
right.
So like if you just kicked it in right after "Yeah, You're Gone," and that was the starting point of the song, you also have a really good song. You know, whether or not it's better is up to you. I don't really know if it's better without something up in front
Right.
of that, but you could start that right there because you have the intro
Okay.
going right on down the line, and you were asking about the part that actually gets you.
Yeah.
It's when you say "and that is that," and the way it's sung is what gets me. Combined with
The finality
lyrics,
of it,
combines with the lyrics, because I feel it there. I feel it. The Kid a Chance, I think, right, is sung the same way. I feel it at every one of those. So the way that's sung is the part that really grabs me.
Okay.
Which, you know, if you think about where it really grabs me from the beginning of the song to that point,
Too long of a wait.
It's a long wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate the feedback, and it's really hard to, like think about, like cutting
change.
your arm
Yeah.
off, you know,
Yeah.
or something. But if it's going to benefit the song, it's something I will definitely look into.
I know what you're saying.
I know.
I leave, you know me, I leave everything in.
In this
and
song-
when it's, if I did it, that's the way I fucking wanted it. So
Right,
leave
and,
it in there.
And you've given me the liberty to kind of do
Change
that to
it.
your
Yeah,
songs.
absolutely.
So this is a little bit of my own medicine there.
And I'm the asshole who just has to sit here, who's not invested in any of this.
You're definitely not getting invited to the Christmas party.
That's fine.
Nope, that's what this is for. And I really enjoy this process and in bringing you guys into it. So I will look to just completely mutilate this song. No, I'm kidding.
This is honest to God, Wade. This is this is the toughest listen so far to have to give feedback on, because you, like you said, you wrote a song that's the three of us, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is a unique point in our friendship. It's
I did spend a lot of. This is probably the longest I've spent on one of these songs so far.
Well, and as a writer and a recorder, I'm just imagining like the hours that went into this already, just because I know how you did the drums and like everything I listened to is very well done.
And I don't have an octave pedal, so I just played all those guitar parts over and over again.
Everything is extremely well recorded
Yes.
and well documented. You know, the difference is, the only thing that throws me is just, like I said, like the songwriting. And
Okay.
the songwriting is also great because, like I said, the rest of it, you're famous to me for having a shit ton of parts and changing the way, it's that.
I want them
verse,
to be
chorus, verse.
cohesive, though.
Yeah, and that's good. And you have it in there.
Just
but
a little too much of
just
it.
a little too much of it.
Okay.
Can I
Before
make
you
one
get it.
technical note without breaking your
Yeah,
heart?
we've talked a lot about the content and the theme of the song. So yeah, if you guys have any comments on the actual, I mean, I know Brad, you just touched on it, but the production.
So when we start with all the things that we do, when I can find the time, you've got a really nice lead in there. A little bit of a fuzzy, almost surfy sounding lead. I think the level needs to come up a skosh. Just a skosh.
Oh yeah, that little background riff.
It's like a solo lead.
Yeah.
Kind of like, hey, something's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that one, it has the bell in it too.
Right.
there.
Yeah. So that was the only technical
Okay.
note I wrote, other than yup.
The only let's get technical that the guitar player in me wants to know is, how'd you get that tone?
That's
bro?
a good tone.
I'll tell you, that pig nose amp.
God damn it! The fucking pig nose.
The entire song was recorded on that.
It's always the fucking pig nose.
I think the solo probably had the Satori Sonics Brownie and Cream also, along with that.
So standard tools.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, all
No,
the guitar
that
was
tone-
recorded through
that
that.
tone's sweet.
A lot of guitar tracks, because like I said, I don't have an octave pedal, so
Yeah.
all those parts that sound octavey, I just played like
I can loan you one.
different.
Did you when you were recording a solo, there's like a high part, then you go down to a low? Is that too? Did you do that?
I built those.
Because it runs into each other a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
So that solo was done. I mean, it took about 2 hours, and for this one I just looped that section and
Right,
just jammed for
jammed to it.
2 hours
Yeah.
basically until I got it.
I like it.
And
that part's great.
And originally I had the lyrics coming in sooner, where that solo changes to the high part.
Yeah.
And it was clashing, and I really liked that solo part, and I didn't think it needed the lyrics right there, the sorry mom and dad part. I thought it impacted the same to cut that out and just start with I didn't mean to let you down, and then let that solo kind of ring out a bit.
No, I don't walk away thinking I'm not a fan of this song.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of
Yeah.
it.
Cool.
Yeah, big
Giant.
time. Yeah, but I think combined with the length of it, it's just like, what doesn't need to be there? Mm-hmm. Because it is a long one.
It's pretty fucking powerful.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it like I said, it definitely
I've never seen you two clam up like that before.
well, no, because it got me.
Yeah.
Like it achieved what you wanted it to achieve. It's just like I said, we hit that already. I mean, it just took a while to get there.
Cool. Well, I
I
think
don't like this podcast
We have to-
anymore.
we're
It's
gonna
too
have to-
hard.
We're gonna have to revisit.
The cast is too hard.
well, great. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll revisit this, and we'll come back to it at a later date. Set course.
To the future!
All right, we're back. It's been a couple weeks since we initially listened to this song, and I got feedback from the dudes, the dicks.
That's me. Mostly me.
A little insight. When I edit these podcasts, I create a group of all our microphones and label the group dicks.
Yeah, I mean, we were hard on you, pal.
We were. I'd like to apologize.
Well,
but
yeah,
think
but I
should.
mean, don't write shit, don't get shit reviews. Yeah. No,
You're getting a little too commercial.
no, just kidding. That it was a good. We expressed everything moments ago for the BSers.
Here's a fun story for the BSers. We recorded the initial episode. I walked away from, editing podcasts or working on music for a day. And then the following day, I was laying in bed, and it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. And this song was just really bugging me. And I'm like, why isn't it working? Like, what's the deal? And I had it in my head, like, your feedback was like way more vehement in my head than it was keeping me up. I was like, they don't like it.
Right.
And I was like, I got to go listen to it. So I came down here at 1 a.m. into the studio and listened to that whole recording session. I was like, oh no, they liked it. Like, yes. I just, it had been bugging me. And it was good. It was good to listen to the feedback after letting it stew for a day and realize that you did like the song.
And we still like you.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was more like me trying to figure out, like, well, why isn't this song working? And I thought a lot about the context of the song and the feedback you guys gave about not connecting to the beginning. And I'm wondering if, since the three of us do not have children, you guys over and over kept saying, I connect to this part of the song, like the end when it's more apparent that is what's going on. So I would really like to hear from some listeners who do have children to see if, possibly they connect to the beginning of the song more, because I wrote the beginning of the song more from the perspective of somebody who does have kids.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
And if it still doesn't work, then it doesn't work. And I did do the edit here for you guys to listen to right now. And it's possible that it could just be a way better song now. But I'd hate to lose part of 2 minutes of the song I cut out. And I'd hate to lose that if like 50% of listeners are going to connect to the beginning more. And then maybe they'll be like, I don't like the end. I mean, I like the song, but I don't connect with the end.
Right. It could be.
That'd be really interesting, and I'd like to figure that out. And it's probably a case where the beginning just doesn't work. But still, why leave that stone unturned? I'd like to get to the bottom of it.
And upon further review for me, I listen to it. We keep these songs secret from each other until we hear them, and then it's open to listen to more. Yep. And I think what I described to you earlier is, I think if I listen to it again, I might like it a little bit better, or I'll have some different notes on it. And I did. Okay. I liked it better. I still think that I'm very interested to hear this edit because I think it's what I want more. But again, I have a certain perspective. Patrick has a certain perspective, and it would be really interesting to hear somebody that has children. If the first verse of the song that you wrote originally,
if that connects,
is all of a sudden clicking with them. Yeah, because if it didn't all of a sudden click with me, I had to hear the rest of it later on to go back and go, like that. Okay.
And did it?
And then you were like, "Hey, that's a parent," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like that's the parent looking at their child. This is the child looking at the parent.
It's still like really in the context of the song. That's still like a dream of the protagonist. Like if it's me as a character, that's me seeing myself having children, seeing them play seeing them fall in love. Yep. Then you wake up from this dream, and you're losing out on this legacy. Right. And I always get that "and so on" chorus stuck in my head. Like that's the title of the song. So if this edit sticks, we have to figure out.
You could change the title,
a different title.
You could save it as something else.
Exactly.
I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do.
But Patrick had really not like that lyric. He didn't really like
that. That was his biggest beef with the song. I think was
for me. I know it's simple, and that's the catchiest part of this. That's the song that keeps getting stuck in my head.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you just think that was
lazy?
Said
it was lazy.
I said it was lazy.
You thought it was just like, all right, I got a couple 3 words here, just on and on and on.
This podcast isn't about me.
Well, it's about
Wade Sprouts.
But I like the echo of "and so on," like an echo of generations.
It carries on. Yeah,
and that's the idea.
When you say it that way, which I didn't, if you had it in the liner notes, maybe.
But I'm wondering, like someone who does have children,
is it already there?
If they really
here's
connect
the thing
with that.
too,
and that's interesting.
This is
oh shit, Patrick's pissed.
This is
man.
feedback.
Why are you red?
It's
Wade, Dana, when I see you at SummerSlam.
Yeah, laser eye.
but it's feedback. So it's your story.
Yeah.
So you can tell us to fuck off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. That's the most important note of the episode. Is you know what? Screw it, man.
Well, yeah,
This is my stairway.
Thanks for your thoughts. I'm done.
We do leave final cut with the artist.
Absolutely.
But no, I want to make sure the song works. And, I know that the most likely outcome is the beginning not working. That's what it was consensus.
Yeah.
But I would like some outside perspective. So the BSers out there with kids, let us know. It's just, to me, it's more interesting.
Yeah. And maybe the BSers,
find out.
maybe the BSers without kids are going to have a totally different opinion too. So,
They could. Yeah.
So let us know
the
on that
interesting
end, too.
part to me to that point is that Patrick and I we didn't really even look at each other, but we had the same, while listening to the
Right.
song, but we had this exact same
Response.
response. We
try not
landed
to
on the
grab.
same target with that.
So
which makes you think that
I like to sometimes think that maybe there's a deeper meaning out there that other people can connect to.
Yeah.
And what if the three of us just have this void in our souls that we are missing?
we do hang out because we're similar.
Yeah.
Right? We're different in a lot of ways,
But I'm
we're
contradicting
similar.
myself because I wrote it to mean that and it didn't land.
Let's
Wade's
listen
more,
to this
Wade's
thing.
more handsome than
You
us,
ready to
I'd
listen to
say.
this thing,
Yeah, I'd
Patrick,
like
or you just
listen
want to
this.
talk about it all night? Let's listen to it.
So here's a question before we
Then we'll
listen.
pick it apart.
Is it off mute?
Yeah, it is. When's the last time you did listen to this?
Probably. We are sitting here on a Saturday. I listened to it Monday.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
Okay,
Monday
cool.
or Tuesday.
So we're coming in fresh. So that's good. So here we go. And so on, possibly. Well, it wouldn't be called that anymore if this
That's right. That's
sticks, because that's not in here.
As a kid, I sometimes see that wasn't born. Didn't learn to ride a bike or how to heal a broken heart. A child that had no gain of memories, forever spared from pain and wonder, and having not known what was missed. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. I know this isn't what you planned, but you left it up to me, and that is that. I didn't mean to let you down. I never meant to let you down. Just didn't feel I could have bought a kid a chance. Plus, this world seems like no great inheritance. We could be out in the yard, playing catch until darkness falls on me, and I'm fast asleep, dreaming of you. The things that we do when I can find the time, but I can't find the time. Then I wake up and you're gone. Yeah, you're gone. You're gone. Oh,
dreams with hopes of showing me what you've achieved. And slowly I'll get old and fade away. And there'll be no one there to see me on my way. No clinging sadness, no need to celebrate. In the end, we'll all become the same. Those of us that lived, and those that never did. Patrick, I think shaking your head.
Yeah. This is what I wanted.
Yeah,
Me
This
too.
is exactly what I
Me
wanted.
too. I wrote down the phrase less musically.
Yeah.
And I say that in the term of a musical. Remember, I think our note
yeah.
before was like
Yeah,
it
you did
seemed like
mention
it was really I don't want to say the word poetic, but like just da da dee da dee, you know, and parts and we're changing, and this seemed I got into it right away, which I didn't before, and it tells a story really well, all the way from the front to the back. If I think I were to go back and listen to the other one now, I don't think I would like it as much because I think I would still be a little confused as to where it was heading because it takes 2 minutes to get there.
Okay. I think this is a good lesson for me, and it's a hard lesson. In writing, they say to kill your darlings.
Right.
Like, to really take a heavy edit to your work in an objective way.
Right.
And I think this is a good lesson for me. Clearly, this song seems to work better without those 2 minutes at the front. Regardless,
To us.
yeah, no matter how hard it is for me to cut those out because I spent a ton of time on them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I connect. I do have a connection to the content there, but if it doesn't lend itself to the song being better as a whole, then it's worth cutting out.
So it does bring up an interesting conversation, and that's who's the audience for this song. So you have done a really difficult job at this point bearing your emotion and talking about it to an audience, which to all the BSers out there who haven't been listening a long time, this is a new challenge for Wade. And so when we are listening to the songs, you really do have to ask the question, who is the audience? Is this song for you?
Right.
Because if this song is for you, who cares what Brad and I think? And if the message is something that you're just trying to express to reach catharsis or think about, that's a whole different idea. But if the idea is to make a pop song's the wrong word, but a song that has mass appeal and is
Right.
easy to latch onto,
Relatable, like
relatable,
for,
right?
for any listener. Really,
Right,
I mean.
right. It's a whole different approach. And to my ear, as somebody who is very close to you and also has a very similar life experience, it's interesting to walk that tightrope. But the second version feels like it gets there for me more than the first.
So what I'm hearing is concept album.
Yeah, quadruple album.
I take the beginning, I turn that into the beginning.
It's an interesting point because, if you made it an overture later,
Yeah.
but it seems when you said concept album, the phrase like it was progressive rock.
Yeah.
It seemed really progressive rocky. Like there's a really, really good music video in the first version.
I would watch Progressive Rocky
You know,
if he fought Ivan Drago while listening to Yes.
Progressive Rocky is very hip.
Okay.
Dude,
I'm trying to think of a clever
that's a fucking band name,
a
right?
clever play on Drago.
Like, ladies and gentlemen, Progressive Rocky. Four Italians dressed like the Ramones.
The Moody Blues Brothers.
Anyway, sorry, wait.
Sorry.
No,
Get
it's
off on a tangent.
I take a little solace in knowing that like the long version is going to live in this podcast. People can hear it there. It doesn't mean I have to get rid of it. I can still listen to it on my own. I think you guys are probably right, and
Chuck it on a
works
B-side.
better.
I really like the fact that
I'd still love to hear from the listeners.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to. Like, if somebody wants to tell you what they're thinking, they need to. Or if you are out there as a BSer thinking something, you need to tell them what you think, because obviously.
And I'm not trying to like fight you guys.
No, there's a
at
debate.
all.
There's a
I'm
debate.
Just,
it's version.
I'm
it's
just very like I spent a ton of time.
both sides of the coin spend the same way.
Yeah.
Right. You just got to get there. Starting the song with the line, "There's a kid I sometimes see that wasn't born."
There's no question.
Just sets
It's
it right
to the
up.
point, yeah.
You know,
Don't bore
you're
us, get
like,
to the chorus.
here we go. Yeah, right. That's thanks, Bon Jovi. It just gets right there, and so you can. I'm in that headspace already.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going. And up here in other places, I see you living out your dreams. That's a girl. That's a dog. It could be 1,000 things. And it took me 2 minutes, like I said before, to get down to, we're not having babies.
Okay.
Like I love where it started. On the second version, second version has my vote.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it.
Sorry.
Sorry I fought you so much. I'm not trying to fight at all.
Listen, as somebody who knows the, and Patrick, it to a certain extent, diving into a song and recording a song and locking it all in, and you spending days and hours and a shitload of time that you don't really have, right, necessarily, to sit there and fuck with a song over and over again, and to go for to sit in a room with two assholes that go, cut it apart, do it better. It makes it the weight.
That's a really good point.
The weight.
I think I'll probably just leave it.
Yeah, the weight. The weight of the work sometimes get to you.
What's a good point is it's hard to remove yourself from that process.
That too, yeah.
Because you listen to it so many times over and over
And you're glued to it.
And you become glued to that song. That's why it's really hard for a lot of people to let others produce their work, because they can't let go of certain things, even though it's going to benefit the song.
We've had that conversation about my stuff.
Yes, and that's what this project is about. So I trust you guys, and I look forward to getting this new version out there into the world and connecting quicker with people.
It deserves to be there, and I made a note, very simple title change, and you're gone. Mm-hmm. It's in there, right there, in the words. So you don't even have to. I mean, you'll still know what it is when you can't find it on your hard drive.
All right. I think that concludes this episode. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Please feel free to check out our social media sites. We are on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We have a brand new website, belongingsongs.com. Reach out to us at bs@belongingsongs.com. And please like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. It would really help us out as we try to get these new and improved versions of songs out there to you listeners. Thank you so much. We'll see you again next week.
That's good. Boom, done. Next.